Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Steletsy here with another Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition casted match for you today. So, what we got ourselves here is another Break and Me game. However, things are a bit different. He has actually decided to play the Aztecs this time. I'm pretty interested in this. We know Break and Me's Fast Fortress build with China was something that's legendary. I wonder what such a fast fortress could potentially look like with the Aztecs. If that's what he's doing, of course. We've also seen him rush pretty well with the Indians. So, everything's up in the air at this point, honestly. That being said, I'll give you a rundown of the map, tell you what's going to happen here in terms of that, so we can understand how it affects everything. So, this is Mongolia. It's a very wide open map. It's very easy to get raided on since there's very little natural protection on the map. You just have these little trees here. There's no real places to put a choke point on, so you have to wall this up with your own wood if you want any sort of protection at all, or send up towers, whatever. There's a trade route up here in the north that's pretty good. There's about 4 trade sockets on it, and it's not near anyone's town center, so you can actually build on the entire thing if you want to as well. One thing to point out for Japan, we have a Japan that's right over here in purple. There is a lot of hunts on this map, since it's a wide open steppe style map, so a lot of places for Japan to just stick a lot of shrines in areas that the enemies might never find and siege down, which is pretty convenient for them. So there's going to be some interesting aspects on both sides of the game. Let's give it a go now and see what happens. So right over here we have Break and Me as the Aztecs. Aztecs, as you know, have a couple of interesting tools at their belt. They can go for a early game attack with their war hut, or they can do a very powerful fast fortress built around their warrior priests at the community plaza, which can be very, very powerful indeed. So we're going to have to see what Break and Me is going to do exactly. We've seen with his China build that he is actually really keen on his timing attacks with fast fortress, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw some very powerful attack with Eagle Runner Knights and Jag Knights or something. But then again, we could see Antonin Slingers and Coyote Runners in early game too. It really depends on what his method is to his madness with this Civ. He will be teamed with Vitali up here. Vitali playing as the Italians. Italians should be a pretty strong ally for this setup. Italy will probably do something pretty similar, I would imagine, going for Age 3, taking full advantage of the Lombards and getting out as much maximum resources from that as possible. Yeah, actually we see the Lombards coming out right now over here. And that's totally possible because of the wonderful villager called the Architect that Italy can do. The Architect is a special type of villager that Italy gets that can chop wood, but can build buildings for free, be it at a very, very slow rate. You can speed it up to the normal build rate, but you will have to pay out the rest of the resources to finish the building. So you can either sit there for like 5 minutes or so waiting for one building to get finished, depending on how big it is, or if you need it a little bit more urgently, you have to pick up the tab on the rest of the wood. So yeah, maybe we'll see a very powerful Lombard build from Italy here. Yeah, looking at their deck though, we can see, oh yeah, this is totally going to be a Lombard-based play. We see almost every single Lombard-based card in the Italy deck. We got the Sienese Financiers, Genoese Financiers, Lucan Financiers, and the Florentine ones. Also Usury and the Advanced Lombards, so yeah, this is probably going to be some sort of Age 3 or maybe even an Age 4 push with the Lombards, potentially. That being said, there is a bit of defense here. You got your musket, your Pavasir cards, and also frontier defenses. Remember, we are on Mongolia, so these towers might be the difference between life and death when it comes to protecting your economy. Yeah, it could be really serious, actually. On the other side, we got a Japan who is setting up with a... wait a second now. We might have an issue here, Houston. Looks like they actually include a fishing boat card on a land map. Ouch, that hurts. Yeah, I mean, you would kind of think that he would have maybe the cherry orchards in here, but no, that that could be a problem. That could be a problem if it's a prolonged H2 fight, you know. Means less food coming into Japan. But other than that, though, it's looking like Yumis are going to be pretty well upgraded here. The Ashigarus, a bit of the Samurai and Daimyo upgrades in there too, and the Flaming Arrow hit points. Yeah, so a good variety of stuff. And then on India's side here, we got, well, looks to be a pretty almost normalish India deck there for 2 versus 2. Got some interesting includes, though, like we got the Age 4 Elephant cards here. We got the Rocketeers here, which not everybody gets, but it looks like this India player likes the Arsonist. And then we also have Team Medicine. Team Medicine could actually come in handy here for keeping their Vil numbers very fast, training out the TC, that is. So what are we getting for wonders? So Japan's going to be going aggro with the Torii Gate. I would assume India's going to do the aggro fort, at least from what I understand, right? Oh no, they're going greedy with the Karnamata. Yeah, there's 2 ways you can sort of do India. You can do the Karnamata for greedy eco, or you can do a defense and offense sort of setup with the aggro. Honestly, I would have expected the aggro on Mongolia, because the aggro would be some decent defense for you if you get raided by the Aztecs. But I guess the India feels pretty confident in their abilities to defend, so they're going to give that a go. You do get a lot of resource crates from the Karnamata age up, so that should definitely help with setting up your defenses, I guess. Right here we got the Mongol Scout and these Indian explorers trying to get this wood treasure over here. Should be pretty helpful considering India's villagers cost wood. And we do have a push. We have a push right here with Puma Spearmen and Coyote Runners. Also, it looks like he did send the big bun for the Jag Knights as well. So this is pretty crucial here. This is a huge push by the Aztec player onto Japan. Looks like Japan did not even get a barracks up. This is insane. This was a really big push here. I don't think Japan even realized what was going to happen. This was like a lightning fast battle. Yeah. I mean, it sort of seems like the build we saw with Breaking Me where he was India and going for a full sort of push with the aggro fort. Yeah, this was a really tough push here. Like, now all the Vils are in freefall, running back to India now, leading him into that direction, and yeah, this is total chaos here. Absolutely. I was expecting like a big battle here, but no. Japan didn't even have a chance to defend himself. Breaking Me just came running out of the gate with shipments of units and the big bun, yeah. If you look at the deck right here, you'll notice how Breaking Me has about 5 unit cards here. The Coyote Runner one, he's got Puma one, and he's got the Antons. He could even use the Warrior Priest too, potentially. I mean, it's not the best option, but you could totally throw that in there. Could be pretty powerful. So it looks like India's got some Gurks and some Sepoys. Trying his best to defend this all by himself now, since Japan clearly couldn't hold the line at all. The Explorers of India are actually doing a pretty good job at holding the line here with their splash attack, and it looks like he is actually able to defend that position. And the Gurks will probably try to blast this last Jag Knight and Spearman, maybe. But oh no, it looks like there's some more Cav units here getting in the way. Yeah, I would believe, yeah, I believe the sentries should be able to finish that off. Explorers now down. There you go. There you go. That was a pretty chaotic start. Oh yeah, it went so fast I didn't even realize what was going on. Now here's the tricky part. It looks like now Aztecs are going to go on to the siege and start sieging down all of the shrines. Once the shrines are down, Japan can't do very much, you know? Japan's eco really rests in their shrines and their ability to trickle resources. Particularly on this map where the hunts are so abundant, Japan would normally be trying to get the shrines all over the place. But it looks like here, they're not going to last very long with this very mobile Aztec force sieging them down. You see his scouters? Yeah, it's very important to see where they're going, pretty much. Japan's explorers are currently up here building more shrines, so it looks like you won't be able to wipe out Japan completely just yet. Will Japan have any sort of resistance at all? So it looks like they could probably add in some Yumi archers here or something to back up the India player. It's totally possible. Looks like there's a forward Lombard here with the barracks. What's up with that? Are we going to see any sort of mercenary outlaws from the Italy? Doesn't look like it just yet. But you can see the Lombards are already at work, popping in resources from one of the financier cards. Looks like the India does go with the Ottomans and gets some of the Azaps. The Azaps will be a great defense against the Coyote Runners. Yep. And now Aztecs come to intercept the Indian army. Before that barracks gets completely lost, Azaps go into melee and start thrusting right through to the Coyote Runners. Looks like they will do some damage, but not a lot. There was really not enough hand anti-cav there to fight the Coyote Runners, it looks like. And whatever was there was completely dismantled by the Antonins. So it looks like that whole Indian army is going to be completely crushed. And with it, this entire base defense. As it looks like the Italy did have a second barracks, as you can see from the second queue there, and they were pumping into their base while this was all going on. A lot to take in here. Yeah, a lot to take in. So, what happened exactly? So, it looks like Aztecs did their forward war hut at this position, and then they went right on to Japan. And then from there, they went towards India. And the Italy player, from what it looks like, got a fuzzy, got the financier cards to bring in some extra wood and coin. And then from there, it looks like they set up an initial barracks here. And then from there, they put up a second barracks at this point. Probably starting at this position because this was the safest bet without getting sieged too early. And then when they felt like that was safe and they saw what Breaking Me was doing, breaking Japan down, Breaking Me after all, they put the other barracks over here and decided to support them with muskets. I think it was a pretty good setup from both of them, honestly, you know. Yeah. Breaking Me's Aztec rush is indeed very powerful, and I'd love to see more of it in some other games. That being said, we'll check out the post-game and see what exactly happened here. Obviously, from so much pressure, the Japan really did not have a chance to really do what they're good at, which is resource collection. They actually had the worst, resource output of the whole match. Italy, with their financier card, were able to really get a lot of resources, and then India, being the only survivor, obviously was sort of the midpoint of the game, I would say. In terms of performance, look at all of this, plus the 4 raisings. Aztecs were very brutal this whole game and really denied Japan any chance of helping their friend out the entire match, or even really building any sort of army at all. What did Japan even build? Now this is scary, actually. It says here that his favorite unit was the samurai. This is the samurai that you get with the Torii Gate age up, in fact. So this means that no military at all was even trained by Japan at all this game. Can you believe that? No military? Man, that's very significant. I mean, really. To think that the one unit you get for free for your age up was the only army you got to do the entire game. Not even shipping in Yumis or Ashigarus or literally anything. That is just a sad situation to find yourself in. But hey, it's Breaking Me who is the perpetrator of this insanity, so I guess it makes sense. Alright, so thank you for coming here, and hopefully we get some more Breaking Me games in the future, right? Yeah, I definitely love watching his gameplays. He's got some pretty insane builds for China, for India, and even now Aztecs. So, yeah, definitely we'll catch you on the next one. Sign off now from this one. GG and well played, everybody.